I mean, in fact, you could say it's total confusion. Well, at the moment, this is Jules Holland reporting for the Tube Special. Oh, how do? And we're at Terminal 2 of Heathrow International Airport, and we're going to be going off to some exotic place. I don't quite know exactly where we're going at the moment, but I could cheat and maybe give you a quick glimpse of things we're going to be doing. For instance, a ticket for Mr. Holland, please.
Pardon, monsieur, est-ce que je peux vous aider?
Exactly, one of the problems we'll be encountering. See some more of those normally unseen details connected with international jet travel, such as we use. For instance, we always sit at the back of the aircraft because you don't hear aeroplanes reversing into mountains. And also, for instance, I want to go to the Kazi, but I can't because we're in takeoff. Still, never mind, we'll be in Nice soon. Nice Coat International Airport. Well, for more of the ups and downs of our exciting journey, we've been in planes and probably helicopters. In fact, we still don't really know where we're going, what we're going to see, except you've probably gathered, being at Nice and Cannes, that this is in fact France, and we'll be discovering some fairly interesting things on our journey. Well, it's still a mystery tour, and as you can see, it's a pretty exciting one. We're up here in the old chopper at the moment, the big chopper, and my first time up in a helicopter, in fact, and let me tell you this, there were some brownstones on the seat earlier, but we're coming into land now at this, and it is, as you know, because I've told you this, in the south of France, but I'm not going to give too much away, here at this chateau with a lovely lake and swimming pool, and oh, we're down then. That was an exhilarating experience. It's just like being in Vietnam, I dare say. Oh.
Okay.
Merci. Merci. Well, we're going to have to bend down now because otherwise we get decapitated by the thing. Hang on, right. Hello, right then. And the cameraman has to bend down also. And we're now heaving in a rather exciting way. I think we're out the shot now. Maybe we'll just have a look at what we've been up in. Pretty exciting, eh? It's not the sort of thing you do normally on a Monday morning. But we don't care. We here at the Tube go for all that sort of exciting gubbins. Now, people in this chateau are people who a lot of young girls, a lot of fans throughout the world are going to want to see. I'm not still going to give away who they are, except, as I say, we are in the south of France. And I'm a person that says, after all, let's forgive and forget. You know, I'm saying let's forget about Napoleon and the Napoleonic Wars and Crécy. Let's forget about Agincourt. Let's forget the common market blockades and let's just say, all right, the French are okay. Now, I know we have had our differences, and a lot of English people would say the French natural enemies. There's a lot of English people who would have said when the Falklands crisis and conflict was on, they were down in Dover, because when all the troops were out, there was nobody defending the ports where the French would have come in. But I think, you know, time heals a lot of wounds, and I think in a lot of ways we and the French are very close. So we'll overlook most of the French people here, I think, except maybe drink some of their wine and eat some of their cheese, grab hold of some of their girls. No, we won't do that. Here we are then at the chateau. And of course, observant people, and we know there are a lot of observant ones of you out there because you do write into us, and so there's obviously some literate ones out there too. We'll notice that out here, in front of this gorgeous ritzy chateau, where Tintin could be standing outside, there is of course a Tyne Tees truck. But that's obvious. That would obviously be here because it would be impossible for me to get here without having all this ready, because you can't just, you know, walk into somewhere. So there's obviously films ready and waiting to be made. So it's got to be something pretty exciting. And in fact, lounging around, doing nothing while we've all been risking life and limb up in the helicopter are the crew. You see, this is how hard it is being on a television crew. Bearing in mind, you still don't know what we're coming to see, but it's fairly exciting. And it's obviously not that, because that's not very exciting, is it? But you can hear music now, and you can see a mobile recording studio. Some of you are saying to yourselves, it's... but I'm not going to tell you yet. There's a well over here. It's a very, very ritzy place indeed. A German car. I don't know what that signifies. So I think it's best we forget about the war. Let's just forget about the war. Well, all I say is let's go in. Into the chateau, the mysterious chateau, and we'll find out exactly who is staying here. Opening the door. Of course, flight cases rather give the game away that it is in fact a group staying here. a group that when you see them will have in fact needed no introduction whatsoever. A group probably bigger than any other group in the world at the moment. For the uninitiated, it's... But maybe it's a little unfair to give you such a brief glimpse, so maybe we should just take a moment and look back over what we've done. It's Duran Duran.
Well, we've been playing tennis, been swimming, been going out to Cannes, talking a bit of French, and we sort of rehearse, working on the soundtrack for Hammersmith, doing a bit of that.
Fairly easy time here, though, do you think?
Pardon?
Fairly easy time here.
It is fairly easy, yeah. It's a nice break, actually, from the hustle and bustle.
I get up and have a bath and a wee-wee, have lunch,
play a bit of tennis.
And then I wake up.
I think the main reason we came here was just to have a break, really, because we worked for 2.5 years quite hard. We really have. And so we thought we'd have sort of 6 weeks to sort of phase out, man.
We sometimes do a bit of rehearsing for the show we're doing in London when we go about The Lady Di.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud. I'm really quite chuffed about the whole thing. Mainly because I think the Royal Family's great. Well, they've got to be if they want us to bloody play in front of them.
Right, and as I said, there could be knighthoods involved.
Pardon?
Like peerages and stuff like that involved.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's just fun. It's you know, it's just as I said, it's very flattering. It's nice to be asked to perform like that rather than to have to set up your tour and to do it for money. You know, we're in it for that business. It's suddenly doing something, when you're asked to do something for nothing, it's actually a challenge, and it's, a shock. I don't know, it makes you feel quite sort of self-righteous. I don't want to get self-righteous about it, but it does actually, it touches you, I suppose, and it's for charity, and the fact that they want us to do it for them. That's really nice. Great.
Take a chance, like all dreamers, you can find no other way. You don't have to dream at all, just live a day.
I mean, you are a founder member of this group. Have you found it, I mean, with all this founding, do you think is it turned out how you thought it would be when you were founding?
Well...
In the foundry?
Yes. No, yes and no. Yeah, it's been a lot more successful, a lot quicker than I imagined. And I think that the way I originally thought about it was crossing over sort of disco with rock, if you like, hard rock. It was like a cross between the Sex Pistols, Pretty Vacant, and Good Times by Chic. And from then we sort of moved away. And at the time I remember thinking that, you know, this was me and Nick, and we sort of weren't sure who was going to like us. You know, we thought the disco kids were going to think it was too rock and roll, and the rock fans were going to think, you know, disco sucks. So we didn't really think there was going to be anybody who'd actually like us. We just thought it was an avenue worth exploring. And luckily there was a sudden movement of futurism and new romantics. and you know, we had a boat to sail out on.
Yeah. You feel that you could go a lot, feel as though you've gone as far as you can go, or is there more ground to break?
Oh no, I think totally. Well, in commercial terms or
Well, both.
music, I think creatively, I think we're changing all the time. I mean, we've always wanted to improve as musicians, you know, man. But obviously we're experimenting rhythmically and, you know, vocally. Vocally, Simon is a lot more confident now than he ever was, say, around about the time of the first album. And obviously, commercially, you know, world domination by '84, you know.
Yeah, you reckon that's what it'll be?
Well, I don't reckon that's what it'll be, but that's what we're going for.
Do you ever worry about the band's future, or do you feel as though global domination's here and you're safe now?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to. I mean, I still don't sleep on Monday nights when, you know, the chart days on Tuesday. I mean, it's what the public think of you, if they're buying your records or not, if they're like it. That says whether they like them or not, and I still worry that, you know, one day it can all go down the drain. You can't say, oh, we're going to be around for years and years. We might or we might not, you don't know. A lot of people obviously heard about the Rum Runner, which is where we sort of first met. And there's this one little room which is just sort of off the club, and it's sort of like half the size of this pool, I suppose. An old tatty, and that's where we used to rehearse, mainly because it was free. And it's a horrible little place, really, but it seemed to work, have a good effect for us. The first and the second albums were all written in there, totally.
In a way, I would quite like to go back to the Rum Runner in Birmingham and write and then demo them at Bob Lamb's, which is exactly how we did the first two albums. But then again, I think, you know, it's going to give a different approach to music. It's going to a slightly different edge.
And we're not writing about cities and nightclubs anymore, and that kind of thing. Our kind of perspectives have become so broadened in the last 2 years. More global. I wouldn't say totally global, but more global, just broader. And we're able to sort of cast our eyes over a bigger landscape now, and that's the difference.
Do you ever, through travelling around so much to exotic places around the world, do you ever get blasé, do you think, to going to those places?
I hope not. I mean, the thing is, really, when we are travelling to those places, it's not like we're having a holiday everywhere. We're working a lot. I mean, when we were in Australia and Japan, for instance, we were only in both the places for a total of about 4 weeks, and I think we had one to 2 days off, one in each place.
Do you miss England when you're out here, away?
I miss certain aspects of it, but I think there's so much more out here to make up for that. I don't actually miss anything, really.
Yeah.
I know that John misses McDonald's and things like that, but...
What are the things that you miss, then?
I miss some of the nightlife, and I miss my family and things like that.
I miss English people. I miss being able to walk out and talk to complete strangers in the street. Hi. You're a complete stranger. You'll do.
Yeah. Let me chat to you about.
No, I mean it's I don't know. That's not all. It's I don't know. You feel kind of. It is funny being stuck out here. It's a very, very. In a way, it's quite a primitive existence.
Stuck through the forest, too close to hide. I'll be upon you by the moonlight side. High blood drumming on your skin, it's so tight. You feel my heat, I'm just a moment behind. In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Center the sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Start on the line, discord and rhyme, I howl and I whine, I'm after you. Mouth is alive, I'm running inside, and I'm hungry like the wolf.
When it comes to writing the songs, how does it actually come about, the writing?
The age-old question. We haven't actually got an answer for that one because this happens in such different ways.
Some songs are actually written around rhythms. Other songs are written around guitar lines or maybe synth lines or whatever. Or another song can start off with a vocal line that Simon's come up with.
I mean, everybody within the band has ideas for what they want to do. I mean, I understand a lot of the gadgets that maybe some people don't really bother with as much, but Duran Duran's a different thing for me because I'm so close to it. I wouldn't ever be a producer of it. I can contribute ideas, but we always need somebody from outside.
I'm quite surprised, actually, what kind of music I actually do like. I mean, I had the Rolling Stones, I had the Sex Pistols, I had Burt Bacharach, This Guy's in Love with You, which I really think is a great song. You know, people are going to slag... People maybe watching this could sort of think, wow, what the hell's that? You know, Burt Bacharach.
Wrote some good songs.
But
Wrote a song for Aretha Franklin, can't knock that.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, it's... you mustn't be narrow-minded about music, and I try not to be. I also find it, I mean, I hear something and then I find out that it's by somebody who I wouldn't dream of writing a good song.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Oh, no, I didn't, because I didn't like that person.
Yeah, exactly, and you can, it's quite amazing. I like Thompson Twins at the moment. I really do have respect for that group.
How's that?
Why? Because they stick to their guns. They have stuck to their guns. They really have. And they've been knocked so much by the press, by audiences, they had so much bad luck with the radio, with their own records, but they knew that they were good enough to make it. They knew it and they stuck to it, and now it's happening for them.
I heard there was a rumour that there was a Sun photographer sneaking in the grounds.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Yeah, we actually traced it back. The Sun had got some photos of Roger taking a shot with an air pistol at this, and we traced it back from the target, and they were somewhere in the hills. Felt like Kustark, you know.
Yeah. Or
Prince Andrew, yeah.
Stealing, walking hand in hand across the bridge at midnight. Heads turning with the lights flashing out, it's so bright. Then walk right out to the four-line track, there's a camera rolling on her back. On her back. And that sister rhythm humming in a frenzy all the way down her spine.
We made up our minds that we wanted to become public figures. And you make that decision, and you do have to sacrifice part of your private life to be able to do that. It's just unrealistic to think of it in any other way. And going out into the middle of London on a Saturday afternoon when all the kids are around you're asking for someone to say, do you want your autograph? So you can't sort of complain about it. So I don't. And if, go out, say, on Tuesday morning, be a completely different story.
Yeah, well, less people about.
Less people who are interested about, because most of the people who are interested will be at school that time. If they're good people and don't play truant.
Tell us about who you saw on the... But yeah, this is good. Tell us about who you saw on the down on the seafront. I mean, this is not something that you would get in Clacton.
Oh, yeah. Well, it
impressive.
just goes to show, doesn't it, when you're down in places like this. No, the film festival's just started, So we've been rushing around trying to get tickets for Octopussy, Much to our disgust. It's not on until June or something. But, no, I mean, it's amazing. We were just walking along the front on Friday night about 12 o'clock. And there was this guy busking with about 20 synthesizers in this street cafe along the front of Cannes. And it was me and Rog walking along trying to look like famous film producers.
Yeah.
And he just made a joke about Jean-Michel Jarre, and he actually turned out to be Jean-Michel Jarre. So you never know. The next time you see somebody busking in South Molton Street, it might be...
dog.
Have you seen
Thank you.